On March 28, 2025, a massive 7.7 magnitude earthquake struck Myanmar and Thailand, causing widespread destruction and panic across the region. The earthquake's epicenter was located in central Myanmar, near the city of Mandalay, a major economic and cultural hub. Due to the shallow depth of approximately 10 kilometers, the seismic waves traveled quickly, causing violent tremors across Myanmar and neighboring Thailand. The impact of the earthquake was devastating, leading to structural collapses, casualties, and widespread fear among residents. Tremors were also felt in parts of China, India, and Bangladesh, emphasizing the sheer power of this geological event. In Myanmar, the earthquake caused severe damage to buildings, bridges, and other infrastructure. Many old structures, particularly those in Mandalay and surrounding areas, could not withstand the force of the tremors and collapsed, trapping residents under the debris. Emergency services were immediately deployed to rescue those caught under the rubble, but the scale of the disaster has overwhelmed response teams. The ancient city of Bagan, a UNESCO World Heritage Site famous for its thousands of centuries-old temples, suffered significant damage, with several temples crumbling due to the intensity of the earthquake. Preservationists fear that this natural disaster may have permanently damaged some of Myanmar's most treasured historical landmarks. Electricity and communication networks were also severely impacted, making it difficult for authorities to coordinate relief efforts and assess the full scale of the destruction. The earthquake's effects extended beyond Myanmar, with Thailand experiencing significant tremors, particularly in the capital city of Bangkok and northern provinces. One of the most tragic incidents occurred in Bangkok, where a high-rise building under construction collapsed due to the intense shaking. The collapse left dozens of construction workers trapped under the debris, prompting an immediate rescue operation. Thai authorities reported that at least 43 workers remained unaccounted for, and as rescue efforts continued, the death toll was expected to rise. Witnesses described scenes of chaos as emergency responders worked tirelessly to pull survivors from the rubble while worried family members gathered, desperate for news of their loved ones. The Thai government declared Bangkok a disaster area to expedite relief efforts and ensure the rapid deployment of emergency resources. The shockwaves from the earthquake were felt as far as China's Yunnan and Sichuan provinces, where residents reported shaking buildings and minor structural damage. In India, tremors were detected in the eastern cities of Kolkata and Guwahati, though no significant damage or casualties were reported. The earthquake also raised concerns about potential aftershocks, with experts warning that additional tremors could follow in the coming days. Authorities in Myanmar and Thailand urged residents to remain vigilant and avoid staying in structurally compromised buildings. The number of casualties in both Myanmar and Thailand remains uncertain as rescue operations continue. In Bangkok, at least 10 deaths have been confirmed, but officials warn that the number may increase as more bodies are recovered from the collapsed high-rise site. In Myanmar, reports of fatalities and injuries continue to emerge, particularly in Mandalay and nearby areas where the destruction was most severe. Hospitals in the region are overwhelmed with injured victims, and the need for medical aid, food, and temporary shelter has grown exponentially. The situation is particularly dire in rural parts of Myanmar, where access to emergency services is limited and many roads have been blocked due to landslides triggered by the earthquake. The governments of Myanmar and Thailand have launched large-scale relief efforts to provide aid to those affected by the disaster. Myanmar's military-led administration declared a state of emergency in 6 regions, allowing for additional resources to be allocated to relief and recovery operations. The junta has also appealed for international assistance, acknowledging the need for humanitarian aid to support the thousands of displaced residents. In Thailand, Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra convened an emergency meeting with disaster management officials and deployed military personnel to assist in search and rescue missions. The Bangkok Metropolitan Administration (BMA) has been conducting safety inspections of buildings to assess structural damage and prevent further collapses. Several international organizations and foreign governments have expressed their solidarity with Myanmar and Thailand in the wake of this tragedy. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi offered condolences and pledged humanitarian assistance, stating that India is ready to provide rescue teams and medical aid to the affected countries. The United Nations and the International Red Cross have also mobilized resources to assist with relief efforts. Donations and supplies, including food, water, medical kits, and temporary shelters, are being sent to the hardest-hit regions. As more information emerges, it is expected that additional countries will step in to support Myanmar and Thailand during this critical time. Myanmar and Thailand are no strangers to earthquakes, as both nations are situated in seismically active regions. Myanmar's Sagoing Fault, which runs through the central part of the country, has been the source of several major earthquakes in the past. One of the most notable was the 1930 Bagan earthquake, which caused extensive damage and loss of life. More recently, the 2011 Shan State earthquake with a magnitude of 6.8 resulted in significant casualties and infrastructure destruction. While Thailand is less prone to major earthquakes, it has experienced moderate tremors, particularly in its northern regions. The 2025 earthquake serves as a reminder of the ongoing seismic risks in the region and highlights the urgent need for better preparedness measures. The economic impact of the earthquake is expected to be substantial. In Myanmar, the destruction of homes, businesses, and cultural landmarks will require significant resources to rebuild. The tourism sector, particularly in Bagan, is likely to suffer a major setback due to the damage to historic temples, which attract thousands of visitors each year. Similarly, in Thailand, the cost of rebuilding damaged infrastructure and compensating affected families will be significant. The collapse of the Bangkok high-rise building has also raised concerns about construction safety standards, prompting authorities to conduct stricter inspections of ongoing projects. As the affected communities begin the long process of recovery, there is a growing call for improved disaster preparedness and stricter building regulations in both Myanmar and Thailand. Experts emphasize the importance of enforcing earthquake-resistant construction practices, particularly in high-risk areas. Many buildings in the region were not designed to withstand a high-magnitude earthquake, contributing to the extensive damage seen in this disaster. Governments must also invest in early warning systems and public education